My exposure to DMT came last year when I returned to visit the city where I went to college and stayed with some friends who was one of a small group of people who I trust completely as a guide and fellow traveler with regards to all things psychedelic. Jay ignited his lighter and waved it beneath the ball of steel wool, supposedly laced with the stuff, at the other end. Inhale, he said, and I did, feeling the pungent mothball taste now sticky and amplified as I choked down the smoke. By now, it was already clear that something was deeply wrong. I could feel my body tingling with a brand new energy, heretofore undiscovered, but now familiar. The faintest background sounds, the whirring of a CPU fan, the faint chatter of guests downstairs, were amplified and reverberant. I felt my brain sift these sounds one by one from a river of noise, a power we all wield but rarely think about. I sunk into the couch and closed, or maybe opened, my eyes. A field of tessellated red and purple triangles danced in my field of view, fed by cascading waves of terror. I felt trapped in an alien snowstorm, my visibility dwindling as I shone the flashlight of reason wildly around trying to make sense of where, or when, or who I was. I was sitting on a couch, and then I took a drug. All the pieces of this simple thought were there. But I was unable to put them together in a satisfying order. I was sitting on a couch, and then I was sitting on a couch, I was. With that, the old order of things buckled and gave way to a logical inversion across some sinister axis. The facts of my human existence, time, space, my body, and my mind, were incomprehensible, beyond recall or even recognition, while ancient, cosmic, Lovecraftian notions of being were laid before me as plain and straightforward as a multiplication table. My eyes, in real life, were open at this point, and I found myself in what I describe in retrospect as a sort of bioluminescent disco. Its geometry taking only the vaguest of hints from the room I was sitting in, but all the more absurd for the swivel chairs still visibly strewn around the dance floor. I remember crying out with a mixture of fascination and revelatory horror. This is what existence is. Immediately after must have been the blast off, because I felt myself suddenly pitched forward at great speed and shot through a series of lounge-like rooms. Make no mistake, I was still tripping balls. The room we were in, while now satisfyingly Euclidean, was made of splotchy green geometric fragments that throbbed and swayed. The walls heaved and sagged, and Jay's face was an inquisitive treble clef. Still, this verdant space felt as nothing ever had, like home. I probably could have closed my eyes and gone back in, but I was too excited by both what had happened and what I now saw around me that I could only gush in a stream of consciousness to my thankfully very receptive friends. I saw a laptop computer next to me and felt an indescribable awe and an odd kinship with this brick of metal which served to ferry our thoughts across time and space, and could be powered off for 1,000 years only to be rebooted nonchalantly into its previous state. As things faded back to normal, and I realized that nothing about the lighting in the room was remotely green, I was left with waves of curiosity and newfound eagerness to explore the world that I called home, that I had left behind without so much as saying goodbye. Like and subscribe for more Trip Report.